Dirk Visser, social media specialist at CBR Marketing Solutions, joins me in studio. Now, Dirk, thank you very much for your time this evening. Worrying to see such engagement, but is social media the perfect platform for such?
You know, the problem with social media is that it's humanized celebrities. So no longer is the person that you've put up on a platform just that person. They're now just like you. They make the same mistakes, but they're now held accountable for those mistakes because conversations are happening in a public domain. It's not happening behind closed doors where it's a he said, she said problem. It's now they are accountable in a public sphere where everybody that has an opinion is able to share that opinion on the topic.
You're also dealing with someone perhaps who is not known and a very well-known celebrity, someone who is a co-anchor on a huge breakfast show as well. So the dynamics are not the same for the two people concerned. One would then immediately expect that Tunati, being someone who is in the public eye all the time, would have responded differently. But is that fair to expect that of her?
You know, the problem comes in is that when you're associated with a brand like Metro or like Idols or whatever you're associated with, that association doesn't stop. That's 24 hours, 7 days a week. Because you're in the public eye all the time, your personal life actually has to be under more scrutiny because what you say when it's controversial or argumentative can be linked back to those big brands. And that's something that celebrities have to take cognizance of, that they are representing all the time. It's, you know, a lot of the guys take their social profiles into their own hands. A lot of them have PR companies that do it. And the guys that take it into their own hands have to be very, very careful because offense is taken so quickly on social media, especially when it comes to the subject like Unati was trying to tackle on the radio show and that boiled over to Twitter. You've got to be very careful with the language that you use because it is going to blow up.
And it certainly has.
Yeah.
Busisiwe Mtabane joins me on the line, Communications Officer for Right to Know. Busisiwe, thank you for your time this evening. What do you make of this whole saga and the subsequent decision taken by the SABC to suspend Unathi Sengana until the matter has been fully investigated?
Thank you so much for having me. I think I agree with your guest in the studio about Unathi being a brand. The fact that as a brand, there are certain rules and regulations that a brand like her can or cannot do or say in public. I understand that people will go on the fact that it's a freedom of expression. She has a right to express herself and all of that. But I believe as an employee or a brand, there are certain things that she is not allowed to say or do. Looking at the tweet, the direct message she sent the 19-year-old, it is kind of a strong language that she used. And in terms of SABC suspending her, I'm sure SABC as the employer, they also have certain rules and regulations. I know coming from the radio background, there were certain words that we couldn't use on air. There was certain music that we couldn't play on air. So I'm not sure in terms of whether Metro FM or SABC has got those kind of rules and regulations as well. But for me, I feel that she kind of went overboard using strong language. I understand that she apologized. Yes, we accept her apology. But for someone of her brand, she needs to watch what she says in public because she is a public figure. Whether she likes it or not, she is.
Yeah. Are you essentially saying that she is a victim of her own celebrity, right? A victim of the fact that she's been so successful for a long time and thus cannot express herself as freely as what you and I perhaps would on social media, which is not, again, Metro FM's account, it's her own account. She wasn't trolled on the public platform, she was trolled on her personal account.
The account, it is her own account, I understand that, but the account, there's no disclaimer that says views and expression on this account are that of my own. They don't reflect my employer or any of that. And she uses the account to get comments from the listeners. Like when they have a topic in the show, they would say, my Twitter handle is this, so you can talk to me via Twitter and all of that. If the show itself had its own Twitter handle, then maybe it would be different. But as a public figure or a celebrity, as you said, yes, she needs to watch herself. She needs to watch what she says because, like I said earlier, she is a role model.
Yeah.
To a lot of young people, a lot of people look up to her. So she needs to keep a clean image. I know it's hard. I mean, she's human.
It is, absolutely. As Dirk was saying, it exposes the humaneness, I suppose, of all celebrities. We're taking calls on this matter. Chantal is on the line from Pretoria. Hi, Chantal.
Hello.
Yes, your thoughts.
My thought on the matter is that what Unathi said on the tweet shouldn't actually matter because she was provoked. She's a human being. She shouldn't be, judged just because she's a celebrity. I mean, for instance, it was a race issue. Should Metro FM or SABC get involved when she responds, but when she was attacked, nobody was defending her at the time? Is the society judging her on the fact of saying that she's a celebrity, she's not allowed to say certain things, or are we just looking at this as a clear view? It's a race issue. She was answering and somebody provoked her. Isn't it our duty to defend what was being said to her, even if that person took it as a joke themselves or sarcasm? Isn't it that wrong?
Chantal, when you say that she was provoked and we shouldn't judge her harshly because she's a celebrity, if you follow the tweet, did what this 19-year-old tweet provoke her to the extent where Unathi then called her a psycho bee, said F yourself twice over, and many, many F-bombs there? Was that warranted in your opinion?
Yes, it was, because she's 19. In my mind, she's a legal South African resident. She's old enough to understand right from wrong. She shouldn't be judging people or telling people what they should be doing with their lives before looking at herself and thinking, if somebody was to say that to me, how would I respond? That's the one thing that social media has done for us as the youth. We are looking at it as saying, I can say whatever I want, but not remembering that if somebody else says that to me, how am I going to respond? She took fight over flight. It's a natural response. Why is everybody pretending as if they are perfect? She's only human, after all.
All right, Chantal, thank you very much for your call. Chantal on the line, they're from Pretoria. Dirk, your thoughts?
I don't think that she was provoked. I think the hashtag UnathiBeLike went viral, and she still had a choice whether or not to respond. Now, I know the caller was talking about the right, the free speech and the right to voice their opinion, but Unathi also had a right not to voice her opinion and to hold back the whole free speech ideal. The fact of the matter is, celebrities take a lot of trolling every day online. If they had to respond to every single troll out there, they would be considered the worst person on the planet. Now, I do think that the reaction was a bit of a knee-jerk reaction, because if you read stuff like that about yourself all day, you're going to want to react. But as far as being provoked, I don't think she was provoked. I did think that she handled it in the wrong way. I think she was emotional, and you can't blame her for being emotional. But I think it was an emotional response. And I mean, everybody does that. It's a human trait, That's what I said earlier. The celebrities are now being brought down to be you and me. Yeah. And that's how people respond.
Could the 19-year-old in question take this further? So, as in, if she feels that she was attacked, her person was attacked from the vulgar slurs that were tossed at her from Unathi, could she take it further?
I'm no legal expert as far as that is concerned. I'm sure there would be some case for a defamation hearing or a civil case or whatever, but that's in the hands of the user. If the user feels as though that this has now affected her life to such an extent that she can't carry on, then she could take it further. Or she could just take it as an upset celebrity that has responded to her. She's now got her vindication because she's been taken out in public. And, you know, she can wash her hands from it and walk away. That would be my opinion.
Sure.
Yeah.
We have, is it Fanzel from Pretoria? Good evening.
Yes, good evening. You know, I'm a Buddha chick.
Yeah.
And what I love about Nyati, she's so gorgeous. Maybe she made a mistake. And I will love her forever because what she achieved in life is so totally amazing. She just loves everybody. And I think whatever mistake she made, she's a celebrity. Everybody makes mistakes. And nobody died. That is the bottom line of the story. Nobody died. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for your thoughts. Busisiwe, let me get reactions from you as well. What are the rules of social media? I mean, people are rather divided on this matter. Just going through a number of tweets. Some are saying that if, as a tweep, if you're prepared to give it, you ought to be prepared to get it back. And this 19-year-old, as Chantal was saying, if she was prepared to give it, she shouldn't have been surprised that Unathi brought it back, perhaps twice as hard. Busisiwe, are you still there?
Yes. Can you hear me?
Yes, there you are.
Okay. Looking at the tweet that the 19-year-old sent, I don't see anything wrong with that. I don't see it as something that would guarantee such a strong worded reply. But as Jack mentioned, that she lost her cool. I mean, she's human. We understand that. But there are certain things that you need to think over first before you go out and express yourself. And I hope this will be a lesson for her as an individual, and also as someone who is in a public eye, because we judge Unathi, the person we listen on radio every day. We judge Unathi, the person we watch on television. But we know that there is Unathi, the human being, the wife, the mother, the friend. But the public can be very harsh. I mean, if you are a celebrity, you want to be in a public eye, you must be prepared for such reactions from the people.
Is that not a form of censorship, though, Busisiwe? In as far as she's not inciting violence, she's not, there is no hate speech, she's not calling for the murder of hordes of people. If she's not doing any of those things which are illegal and are not allowed, as you know, in the prescripts of our Constitution, if she's doing none of those things, should she then be suspended from her job? Should she then be treated in this manner? Because we're all allowed to say what we will, insofar as it doesn't harm the next person.
I think in terms of the fact that she used strong language, I think that is one of the problems. But I'm not sure about the rules and regulations at SABC regarding use of strong language. But because the topic was linked to what was said on air, so I think maybe they believe that it's part of the show. Somehow it does reflect the show and the station itself. But like I said, she apologized, so I hope that the SAPC will let this one go. Maybe just have a formal conversation or training with the staff in general that as employees, you are the brand, you represent us 24/7, when you're out there, you are SABC, whether you like it or not. So you need to watch what you say to people, you need to watch your reaction to people.
Taking more calls on this matter, Temba joins me on the line from Pretoria. Temba, good evening.
Good evening.
Yes, Temba, go ahead, please.
Well, my view is that I've been listening to your commentator there, and his argument is that the celebrities are being brought down to be the same as me and you, which seems to suggest to me that the 19-year-old had the right to make the utterances that they have made to Unathi. And Unathi, because she's been brought down to being me and you, has no right to respond in a manner that has been responded to. Basically, we're saying we're punishing Unathi from being successful at what she is doing, and we're condoning ill behavior and ill-manneredness by our own young people to insult adults, and those adults not give proper what we call response. I am not condoning the kind of language that has been used, but there is cause and effect, and we must take that into account when this matter is being dealt with. The fact that Unathi has been suspended, it's merely an exercise by Metro to protect itself and to protect its interests. This has no bearing whatsoever in terms of making sure that our community and our young people are brought up in a proper manner and are able to converse in this social media in the manner that enhances themselves rather than undermine other people or bring themselves to the same level as the people they are bringing down.
All right, Temba, let me get responses for you. Thanks for the call, Temba in Pretoria. Dirk?
You know, let's just keep in mind that the 19-year-old that tweeted at her wasn't the only one that tweeted. Everybody, well, there was a large number of people that took on this Unathi Be Like hashtag and decided to add their opinion to it. Was it wrong? Was it right? Comes down to a moral question. Comes down to that person's frame of reference. What we see on social media is that when something goes viral, people will pick up on it and add their 2 cents to it. So what the 19-year-old was doing was purely being on Twitter. She was just joining in the conversation. Was Unathi wrong to respond? No, she wasn't wrong to respond. Did she maybe respond too harshly? Perhaps, which is why she's now receiving this slap on the wrist from the SABC. But we've got to keep in mind that with the public domain now, which is Twitter and social and all of these aspects, people are more welcome to share their opinion. I think my comment on this whole thing would be not censorship, but more self-censorship. Think before you tweet. Think about the person that you're tweeting to or about. Just think about it, because it will affect that person. It's still a personal platform.
Yeah.
You know, that self-censorship is a huge thing, especially for the young guys. They need to learn that coming in to these platforms, that although you can say everything, you shouldn't say everything.
It may have professional implications, as it had on Unathi. I believe we have William on the line from Pretoria.
Good evening.
Hi, good evening.
You know, this that's going on now with Unathi, you know, this happens daily. And a person has to keep quiet what other people say to you. And they try to get the ugly out of a person. And I think what Unathi did was very good. Why must a person always keep quiet what other people say to you? Right? Unathi is a strong person. She's a beautiful person. She's a celeb in South Africa. Right? And everyone is trampling on her. I don't think it's right that people must keep quiet every time when other people are running you down and say ugly things to a person. She's also a human being. She's got also feelings. And people can do what they want to and say what they want to, and as soon as you say back to them, they don't like what's said to them. Right? And then everybody wants to tear her apart now. I think it's unfair. She's got the right. She's got the right to say what she wants to say, like all the other people who want to bully her and try to get the ugly out of her.
Thank you for your call there. Thanks for your views. Busisiwe, let me get some responses there. But it seems a few of the calls that are coming in are disagreeing with the stance that you've taken, that perhaps you should have thought about what she is doing. And a follow-up to that, surely social media should be fair game for everyone, or not quite?
There are no rules in social media. There's no right or wrong. For some, if it's right, for someone, it might be wrong. But yes, I heard the last caller. She does have a right to reply. We are clear about that. But the issue here is the kind of language she used. She needs to watch her language. because of the kind of person that she is. Like you said earlier, me, I can say anything on Twitter. I mean, nobody will worry about who I am. But for someone like Unathi, a public figure, a brand, they need to keep it clean.
To the question I also asked Dirk a moment ago about what I suppose next steps that this 19-year-old could actually take. Could perhaps Unathi find herself in more trouble if this 19-year-old feels attacked and violated by the messages from Unathi?
I would hope she doesn't take it further, given the fact that Unathi has apologized. But also, I would hope that this is a lesson for her. Like in terms of being on social media, the stuff that you say to whoever you are saying it might come back to bite you. Be ready for what's going to come back to you. But I would hope that she doesn't take it to the lawyers, any of that. But like, I'm not a legal expert. I'm not sure if there's anything she can do in terms of legally. But yes, the issues out there, it creates debate, and I hope that as we move forward, especially for our South African celebrities, public figures, we know before the days of Twitter and Facebook, people used to have those who manage their media side of things, like press statements and all of that. But with Twitter, it's easy for these people to interact with us on a one-on-one basis. But in terms of how you do it, you need to be careful.
Yeah, but we are fast running out of time. But let me get in Kristen from Cape Town quickly. Kristen, good evening.
Hello, good evening. How are you today?
Well, thank you. Your thoughts, please.
Yes, my name is Christian. I'm calling from Table View, Cape Town. And actually, I've been watching what is going on air. I'm not impressed, actually. The SABC, actually, they quickly went front to suspend Unathi, and they have never found out the actual source, the evidence. There is no evidence. This is just a child that does not know anything. So the people of South Africa, we should join hands and say, this is a boom, this is a star boom, this is a doom.
Kristen, just clarity, evidence of what exactly?
I said, what this young lady said on air, there is no evidence. This is just a Twitter. So Unathi in question reacted. We shouldn't blame her because she's also a human being. She got a blood, she's breathing. There is no difference between Unathi and we. So she reacted based on a human being. So the child that wrote this thing on air they should have called her to order. So the South Africans should actually trace the source of this lady, where she's coming from, to know actually the truth. Why is she asking this lady, are you a lesbian?
All right, Christian, let's leave it there. I think perhaps you also misread what happened there with the hashtag Unathi Be Like. Have a look at it. It is, of course, flashing on your screens as well. The issue of evidence, Dirk, perhaps if you'd like to comment on that. But just finally, as we wrap up the discussion, how can Unathi use this to further her career? Because people have used adversity and they gain a lot more followers from this, and their careers, skyrocket.
For sure. On the evidence thing, there's not much to look for. It's all on Twitter. there's the evidence.
Evidence now.
There's the conversation. You can't deny that. What Unathi has to do now is that she has to turn this into a positive. And she's seen a lot of support coming through this. With all the negative, there are a lot of positive people, as we've heard from the callers, that are still supporting her. They realize she's made a mistake, and they're going to move on. You know, the lifespan on social media is so short that tomorrow there's probably going to be another scandal. Yeah. You know, and Unathi's going to carry on with her life. And what she does now is, moving forward, she makes sure that when she engages with her community and her fans and followers, that she just employs some self-censorship. You know, she realizes she's made a mistake, she's apologized for it. She's not going to walk over hot coals for the rest of her life. She's going to move on, and she's going to rally the people around her that love her. And you know, she's going to move
And
forward.
move it, use it as a positive. Let me thank you
Definitely.
very much. We're out of time. Dr. Fisser, social media specialist at CBR Marketing Solutions, and Busisiwe Mtabane, communications officer from Right to Know. Thank you for all your calls as well. Short break here on Prime. More after this. Stay tuned.